there I always have one problem, because when I have lucid dreams, there's all kinds of different levels of lucidity. And one of the videos I shared that if you actually like shout something out like clarity right now, you can actually like, boost up your, it sounds so weird. Really, it sounds so weird, but it actually like the dream responds to it. And like this one day I was like below a tree and everything was kind of muddy and you're seeing that it's kind of like through a weather cloth, right? So I was like, clarity now, and suddenly it went from, 720 resolution to HD, and I was like, okay, this is pretty nice. And I did it again, I was like, more clarity now, and it went to Ultra HD, and I'm like, wow, this is so crisp. At this point, I saw stuff more like crisper than in reality, and I went to like a leaf of the tree, and I was like, whoa, I can see the surface like an end with such crystal clear clarity, and I touched it and I felt every little bump on that little particular leaf. It was more real than reality to me.
I agree that you can ask the dream to do stuff for you, and it actually responds. Uh, like one time I wanted to get control of my flying. I felt like someone was pulling me in a circle, and I just couldn't control myself. I was like, "Give me control! Give me control!" And I was screaming so bad until the dream like settled down, and I could like, okay, that worked, and I could like freely fly. So that actually does work, whether it's you're asking a dream or whether you're like demanding something. It really, I think it works by asking your subconscious or something. It's like you subconsciously project your thoughts in the dream.
I totally agree with all of you. I had the exact same experiences. So we're all on the same deal. Of course, they're a little different for each one of us, but I it's me lucid dreaming. What's fun about that? Um, it's you can get, and you got to be careful. You don't want to start actually playing God, but you get into spiritual magic. That's when you can change things, and that can be real dangerous if your ego gets a hold of that and you start going around, looking for buckets of gold and stuff. But uh, Layla, I had a real, never had one before
Yeah,
in my life. I had a real
breaking up
bad
on us. Your audio is kind
bad
of breaking
illness.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Did it clear up?
I'm not sure. It was very robotic and kind of like
Oh,
breaking up. I don't know if you have good reception. Maybe you should lower the reception.
yeah. I'm right next to my router. So anyway, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still breaking up.
Oh, okay. I'll just be quiet. Let someone else talk, and I'll be quiet for a while. It'll get better.
Okay.
Well, I like using the phrase clarity now particularly. I once did the exact same thing that you did, Layla, and the dream was really, really clear, and I kind of I was looking at the grass because it was incredible, and like the trees and everything, and I had incredible control. Like I've never had a lucid dream like that one. It was insane. It was like so vivid and so real. I just, you wake up and it's like you have this amazing feeling of having had such a strong like emotion. I don't know, it was really, really cool.
That's nice. What about
Yeah.
the the um, the false awakening, guys? Have you ever had any?
Uh,
Layla's got a story about that.
oh gosh, guys. I don't even know if I could tell this because it's such a long story. So literally last night, in preparation for this hangout, I had the worst false awakening slash dreaming of an astral projection slash being stuck in a dream and being completely lost experience. It was crazy. Uh,
Well, if it takes long, I bet you made a video about it.
no, it just
Yeah.
happened last night.
Oh, last night.
I just texted Mike this morning like at 6, and I just woke up and I'm like, are we having still a lucid dreaming hangout? I'm not even sure if I'm awake right now or if this is real. I was literally like,
Yeah.
this is probably a dream again. This is when you literally go crazy because I have one video about false awakenings, and that one was before it was just like being in my bed and not like wrapping around and around, not being able to wake up. It was such a disgusting feeling. This time it was crazy. So 5 themes to make it really high level. So I'm trying to astral project, right? And I'm having a hard time to differentiate between astral projection and lucid dreaming. That's what's kind of the topic of this hangout, actually, to find the difference. So when Mike already gave his definition of, I think he said like 3 items, like having good sensations, then you don't have to be asleep. And what was the third one, Mike?
Well, for me, it's just the difference in clarity, but it sounds like that's not a universal thing. It sounds like you guys have quite a bit of clarity just during your lucid dreams.
Yeah.
So mine are not that way, and it might just be that I need to clarify my own lucid dreams more somehow, or like you said, demand clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyhow, well, now everyone's
one
kind of,
thing.
you guys
Go
still
ahead,
have
Bill.
good
One thing. Go ahead.
Do you guys still hear good? Because some people are breaking up on me.
Yeah, me too.
I hear it. I hear it
Having
good.
a hard time.
It's a little bit of delay, I think. A little bit of. I think I hear you good. Yeah.
Okay. So to make it really short, I was dreaming. So I'm in the United States right now, and I dreamt that I wake up in Germany because I had to go back because I failed or something, which is already hilarious. And I wake up, and I think I'm astral projecting. So, and I I lift myself up and I see my hands are glowing in front of me, and I'm thinking, nice, finally an astral projection. And I walk towards, I think my parents' bedroom or something, because I want to see if they see me as a ghost or something. And then I'm thinking, wait, I feel my feet on the ground, so like in an astral projection, I should be hovering or something. It's weird. And then I try to do reality checks, and this is the first time that I do at least like 5 reality checks, and all of them failed. Have you ever had something like this, guys?
I did have until I started to only use the reading reality check, because I think you cannot, like you can barely, that does not, how do you say, cheat on you. I mean, like it always works. Reading something and then reading it again. That's
Oh,
the most, that's the only reality check I can trust right now, because I've had the put your finger into your palm one. I had the breathe through your nose, and they all failed me. So.
Especially when you're reading small text, and the small text will shift around and turn into different looking symbols and all kinds of crazy stuff. Exactly. I agree.
So literally, I did the finger through the hand, failed me. Then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna jump up and pretend I can fly in a lucid dream that would usually work. Didn't work, but I knew like something was odd, And then this lucid dreaming reality check should have worked. I asked myself, what did I do the last 3 hours? How did I get here? Why am I here? And this is where it gets really creepy and weird. I don't remember having a dream before like that, but in the dream, I was referencing an experience before. Like, I was referencing, it was almost like, oh yeah, I just woke up, and yesterday night I went to an event, and I had a white dress or whatever in Germany. So I was like, yeah, it totally makes sense. Yesterday night I was at this event, now I woke up, and now I'm having an astral projection. It all makes sense. but it was just a dream about an astral projection, and then followed by a crazy false awakening. So I was like, okay, that reality check also doesn't prove that I'm lucid dreaming or that I'm dreaming. So I thought, wow, I'm stuck in a weird astral projection. I can't wake up. I tried to wake myself up. That didn't work. All my reality checks fail, but I know that something is weird, and this is not like a cool astral projection like I expected, and it's also not a cool lucid dream where I can just change the dream environment like I usually do. I was like, okay, what now? So then I woke up in that bed again, obviously, and this time the room is slightly changed, my children's room. I'm like, okay, it looks quite different. And then I tried to remember, well, how does that room look? And I was like, yeah, I don't even know because I was such a long time I wasn't home. So how am I even supposed to do a reality check to compare if this is real? Because I couldn't remember. But then usually that reality check should tell me, oh wow, you're not even in Germany. But in this dream, I just didn't have that clarity. And since all reality checks failed, I couldn't transform the dream landscape because I wasn't lucid. I knew something was weird, but not a single reality check helped me to confirm that this was a dream. So I was in this weird kind of void state, and no reality check gave me the lucidity or the, okay, this is a dream where I could actually modify things. So I was just stuck in this weird thing. I was lucid in terms of, yes, I'm going to try lots of reality checks, but I was not lucid in the terms of, I know this is a dream, because that point never came. So it's actually a new state that I never been in, where I'm lucid enough to do reality checks, but all of them fail, so I can't say I'm really lucid, and I know that I'm dreaming. So,
Yes.
yeah.
I noticed something throughout this year after my first astral projection, is that almost 95, or let's say 90, maybe even 99% of the times when one has any kind of vibrations throughout the body, it's almost a certain a dream or an astral projection. Because even when I believe that when you have those vibrations, really you don't have to use some kind of a method to go out of your body. You can simply stand up from bed. You know what I mean? You
Oh,
can
that's very
simply,
true.
yes. So I've had like maybe 10 times vibrations, and I thought, okay, nothing happened. I wake up and I'm like, I go to the bathroom and then go back, and it turned out to be everything. Turned out to be false awakening. So for example, one time I had those vibrations, and I stood up, and then I was like, okay, let me do some reality check, and I was like, let me try to fly, and I jumped up to fly, and I just couldn't fly. But I didn't notice that I didn't have any carpet on the floor. I went to sleep, and it turned out that I did have like a carpet, unless everything was a false awakening. So what I'm trying to say is that any kind of vibrations throughout the body means that you're very, like more than 95% close to being projected, or it turned out in a dream.
That's definitely the case. So what I found is that I don't need techniques at all to exit once I'm in that vibrational state. It's usually techniques that I use to get to the vibrational state, but once I'm in it, I just let it build up, and once I get to the point where I can, see through my closed eyelids and see through my sleep mask and everything else, and you get to the point where you know that feeling of the state, and I just sit up or I just roll out of bed. There's no need to do the rope technique or anything else.
Yes, you can simply go out of bed. You can just stand up, and you're already in the astral world.
Right.
Yeah, or you're in a dream and you're stuck, and all reality fail you, and you think you're in astral projection.
Yes, false awakenings are horrible. I can understand that. It's like an opportunity that is lost.
It was literally a loop of 6 times waking up in the same bed in Germany, and always weird stuff happened. And next time I woke up, I didn't see it dark, and my hands glowing green. This time I was looking like this, but just down and kind of moving, and then I was like, okay. I was very conscious. That was nice. Like, I was lucid enough to be completely in control in my mind in the dream. Although I still had no confirmation that it was a dream, I was completely, like, very conscious. So I was like, okay, Lucid Layla. You have a lucid dreaming channel. You teach people what to do. What is your advice now? Like, how can people ask me that all the time? Like, how can I exit out the lucid dream? I actually just made a video about that, kind of ranting about people who ask me that question because I think it's so stupid to exit out of a dream once you know it's a dream. But now I'm in that state myself. I'm like, I want to exit out. I want to exit out. I can't confirm this dream. I can't change the dream landscape for the very first time. I just want to exit out. And then I read something somewhere that I remembered that the only way that you can influence your physical, that you can wake up, or that's kind of connected with your physical, is breathing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to breathe really, really fast right now. And that's going to bring me to my physical body, and then we can move or something. And that actually worked, and then I woke up. That's like the really short version of it. But I was so like annoyed of it, like being in 6 false awakenings after each other, doing reality checks over and over again. Nothing worked. It all made sense. I even had a fake, like in the dream, I had a fake dream that I referred to as reality. So that reality check about what did you do before didn't work, you know. It was insane.
So
Wow.
in this loop, you weren't lucid.
Sorry?
In this loop of false awakenings, you weren't lucid.
Well, I was in this new state. I don't even know. I could actually give it a name now that I discovered this new state where, like, in terms of consciousness, I would say at 95%, like really, really conscious. You know, I could access all my lucid dreaming knowledge. I could do a reality check, how to do a reality check, what kind of different, I knew everything. But all reality checks would fail me. And the one reality check that was referring to how did I get here, I applied it to like what did I do in the last 3 hours? And was like, okay, you just got up. You just awoke. So this is either a false awakening or this is a real astral projection. Or this will turn into a lucid dream if it's a false awakening and you do a reality check that turns out to be positive. So I was like, okay, let's do a reality check. But like, I was conscious enough, but I never got to the point where a reality check confirmed that this is a dream. So I never had that aha effect where I could just, that stuff that you need to actually change the dream environment, you know, that complete conviction, yes, this is a dream. I never had that. So it was in between lucid and not lucid.
Well, thing is, I normally, when I'm in a lucid dream, I just know when I'm lucid, and I only use reality checks, like, to enhance the vividness of the dream, I guess. So
Yeah.
I've never really been there, like what you're saying, because I always like either know or don't know, like something makes me realize. But reality checks are just something I use to enhance the dream. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I don't really need them to be lucid. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, could some of you share some of your really high point dreams? Would that be okay?
What
High
do you
point.
exactly mean by high point?
Well, you know, some kind of dream that you really remember and that it did something for you.
Did something as a
Like a magnificent dream that was really beautiful or something.
I'll share one.
Some of Layla's. Okay, good. Okay, that you can really connect big time when people share their dreams.
Sure. So I keep a dream journal, and so I remember a ton of my dreams. But I'll share one that was impactful enough that I used it to write it. So I should say I'm in a band, and I play guitar for a band, and so I actually wrote a song about this particular dream after I had it because it was impactful enough. So I was driving along. I was driving my car, and that was the point where I became lucid. And I can't remember what it was that sparked the lucidity, but at some point I said, you know, this isn't my car, or, you know, I don't know where I am or something. So I'm driving, I'm in this convertible, and I'm driving through the forest, and I get to the edge of this huge cliff. And so I get out of the car, and I'm looking over the edge of this cliff, and I can see all the treetops down below, and I can see, you know, lakes off in the distance and things like that. And I decide I wanted to try driving off of this cliff and see what would happen, because, you know, you usually wake up when you die in a dream, and I thought, well, what if I die in this lucid dream? Is it going to be the same? Am I going to be able to remain asleep or remain lucid? Or can I die in a lucid dream and then still stay in the dream, since I've got that lucidity and that I know that it's a dream? And so I climb back in the car, and I drive my car right off of the cliff, and I see all the trees and everything on the way down, and it was incredible, actually. So the falling feeling that felt realistic, and seeing all the scenery down below, and feeling the wind in my face and falling down, and then I did hit the ground and it woke me up. I didn't remain in the dream, but it was a pretty cool experience.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool. We just got a new person who joined, Arcanine. Hello, welcome. You're currently muted, so you just have to turn on your microphone, and then we can hear you. If you want to say hi, just introduce yourself. If not, it's fine too. You can always tune in later. Also, I want to maybe answer some questions that people are watching us on YouTube right now. So, oh, her voice is gone. Okay. So someone was asking, are you guys still doing tests, like when you astral project, like that you put something somewhere and then you check if that's really the item that you were looking for?
On my first astral projection that happened unintentionally, I immediately thought of doing that, and I had my shoes under like a drawer, and I remembered to check if they were really there, and well, they weren't there. But then I learned that when you astral project, you really don't astral project in the real time zone every time. You sometimes project in other time zones, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
no, I did not find the shoes, but that was the only test I did, and I'm working on my new test, which is putting cards on the stereo, and I'm waiting for my next astral projection to test that.
That's pretty cool. How about the other guys?
What's up, everybody? How's
Hey,
it going?
Hi.
New visitor, Josh. Hi, Josh. Welcome.
Hey, yeah, I didn't realize you guys were doing this. My phone's been broken, and I've only had my computer, and I haven't been on a lot, so I just jumped on, and I saw you guys, and I was like, oh, I better come say hi. So I'm actually getting ready today to start working on building a log cabin, so which is pretty exciting. But anyways, just thought I'd jump on and say hi, and this has been a really cool conversation. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about it. And hi, Martha. Martha and I, we've talked for like the last year. She's kind of been my lucid dreaming buddy, and I recommend everybody have one, just to like, build it, like, I don't know, like just to inspire each other, and just to like be able to like talk about all these different things, and it's been really cool. So hi, Martha from Spain, Catalonia.
Cool.
We haven't.
Building a community.
Yeah, we've Skyped a few times, but it's been a while, so good to see you guys.
See you.
So anybody else doing astral projection tests, or did anyone ever do them, and what was the result?
I can tell you I've done them, but my results aren't very impressive. I'm kind of in the same park as a Bood, where I think I'm too far out of phase with the physical world or something. I've tried cards, I've tried reading dice, I've tried interacting with physical people, and every single test was a failure. So that lines up pretty closely with other people that I've read. So a guy named Frederick Ardema does a whole lot of experiments in his book, and I think he gets like a 30% success rate by the end. It's even less than chance. And Bob Monroe, in his books, he does some tests in laboratory conditions, and he can't repeat anything. So I don't feel too bad, since those folks are way beyond my own skill level. But I've also heard people who say they can do it. It's just I've never had the experience.
I would like to ask Mr. Bill if if he thinks that he projects in the real-time zone or like in different zones. What do you think?
Well, yeah, let me say this. Once you've, gotten used to it, and remember this, you are a miniature God, so you're fully able to do all these things. It's not a problem at all. You don't even need a spirit guide, but that helps because a guide will awaken you to what is in you. But the only thing stopping you is your ego, and your ego will say, oh, it can't be done. If you think that, it won't be done. But here's something all of you can do, and Layla helped me do it through lucid dreaming, but you can do it. I do it in the astral all the time, and that's to go out and change things or discover information. For example, a spiritual friend of mine, she found out her husband was having an affair, not a physical, and was saying she read all the emails, was really having a good old time flirting with this girl and everything. She was 20 years younger. And she was so upset, and she sent me an email last night and said, would you go touch my husband in the spirit and tell me what he's really up to? And I did, and I know how to do that. Any of you can. I went and I touched his spirit, and he was just having a fantasy. He never had any, he loved his wife, never had any intention of physically doing anything. And I emailed her back, and I told her, well, if that upsets you, I said, everybody has fantasies. You might just need to tell him to control himself. And I touched his heart, and I knew he still loved his wife, so I just told her that. But those are the kind of things you can do, and it's a little dangerous. You can do lost soul work, help lost souls. A nice way is like connect them if they're wandering around with a loved one up in paradise, and they'll drift on in there then. Things like that. But you can change things in your life. Like I had a bad bladder infection, and Layla was giving me some tips, and guess what? How it all came out. I was going to a bad doctor who didn't diagnose me right, and I found out what was causing all that. I was pre-diabetic, and I got to my wife actually read my blood test. Oh, you're pre-diabetic, and I was drinking too many sodas and stuff. I cut back and completely solved the whole thing in 4 days. But see, you don't know who's going to help you figure it all out. But by suggesting, I was going by Layla, said, well, just ask yourself, why am I having this? And now I don't have the problem anymore. But you never know what routes you're going to take to get it solved. But it's a lot of fun. And anyone, everybody should be very happy in their lives. That's normal, with all the money you need and just enjoying your life. I'm not saying to be a millionaire, but just we're created for that. And if we're not having that, have the right person in your life and all that stuff, it's because you let your ego run your life, and you're not in your God self, bringing all the things that make you happy and a good life and the positive. And then you can go out and start helping others too, like Layla's doing. So I don't know if I answered the question, but anyway, going into the Akashic record, time travel back and forwards, astral travel in the now, and you can bilocate. And like I did on that woman's husband, I just bilocated. And all I did was suggest I want to go there and go to sleep, and it happened. It's just that simple. And woke up this morning, sent her an email, and any of you can do that. You're all fully capable of it. And the reason you're not doing it is you just don't believe you can. And I'm not putting you down. You will eventually start doing it. So anyway.
Very, very inspiring.